So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another album review of The Chill Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today we're going to talk about the brand new album by the band SHUN, and it's called Dismantle. This is the band's second album, and they're a heavy rock band from North Carolina and South Carolina. And yeah, if you think of bands like K-Bean, Torch, and that type of like heavy rock with some psychedelic atmospheric like sound to them, you will get the sound of SHUN. This is a band that I didn't know, but I got the promo for their second album, so I listened to their first album that came out like in 2021 and to this one. And the first one is more stoner rock, but on this record they experiment more and they don't fall into those like stoner rock tropes. And I think this is what makes the band to me stand out. I like that there's a lot of like melody to the songs, especially to the guitars. The singing is more melodic. It's not of that like it's not that much like a harsh singing. It's more melodic singing. Very like I know I say Kerry Ding, but there's some of the singing that reminded me of a band like Fries, mixed with that like stoner heavy psychedelic rock type of sound. Also, I saw a band like Sun Drifter that I also reviewed earlier. They have that type of sound where they can blend, SHUN can blend like the melody with like the heavy aspect of it, but make it very cohesive and very soothing to the ears. And that's something I like about the band. So yeah, Dismantle is 10 tracks, 41 minutes in length. And the first song is called Blind Eye, and that one starts more like stoner rock type of feel, more like fuzzy guitars, distortion, and it's more in vein with their first album. But then they throw a left curveball with the second track, Aviator, and on that Aviator, first of all, the tone of the guitar, it's more clean, it's more like melodic. And I love the singing on that track. I think the choruses for this band I like a lot. And the next few songs are more on that melodic, like softer. They're not like super fast songs. They take their time. They're more atmospheric. You have songs like Horses, which has more of that like prog rock type of feel to it. There's even some use of more like acoustic guitars in it. Then they followed that with Drawing Names, which is another like more mid-paced track. And then you have a track like Storms, and that one really reminded me of Fries, especially on the way that it's sung. Something that I enjoy about all these tracks is that the singer really sings with a lot of like feeling. And I love singers that can do that. You can feel the emotions, because there's nothing worse than having a singer that can, a song can be awesomely written, but if the singer cannot convey those feelings in the track, it kind of loses me. But Sean Singer, he does it really well, and I think a lot of the tracks have that type of feeling, like you feel the lyrics so well. So after a few songs that are more like mid-paced, slower, they have a banger of a track with NRNS. And that one is more like stoner rock, more heavy, very guitar driven, and it has like the more aggressive vocals than on the last tracks. So they know how to play with pacing. So that track really picks up the pace. Then you have songs that are faster, like You're the Sea, which really has more of that like Black Sabbath influence, especially on the riffing. But again, with those great melodic vocals that really give the songs, like I said, that extra feeling. Then they go back to a lot of like heavy rocker, like The Getaway, that it's got like a Mastodon vibes to it a little bit, which I really enjoyed. And then they go to a track that's called Through the Looking Glass. And Through the Looking Glass, it's a mixture of like the heavy stoner aspect with the more atmospheric and clean side of things, because the song changes tones throughout its runtime. And I think it's another great track. And then the album ends with Interstellar, and that one really, there's a lot of like progginess, atmospheric, psychedelic sounds to that track, especially how it starts. It starts with some like very trippy guitars, like it really hooks you in that like stoner psychedelic type of vibe. But then the song picks up the speed and it gets sludgier a little bit, but also dreamier at times. And it ends the album on a high note. So I think this is an album that really flows really well. I didn't find any track to be bad. There's no filler on this record. I really enjoy all the guitar parts on this record, the singing, the hooks to it. I think this is a band that, there's a lot of bands that you could say, oh yeah, it sounds like that band, that, or other bands, but I think they really stood out to me in this record. I think this is an album that is really enjoyable. It's very song driven. Some albums, they're more like riff driven, but to me here, the vocals and the feeling is as important as the music. That's why I think like Dismantle by SHUN is a great album that guys should check out if you like Caved In, Torch, Fries. If you like all that type of bands, check this band out. This is a very solid sophomore release. And if you want to know more about this album, I actually interviewed Jeff Buckham, the bass player on the channel, and we talk all about this album and more stuff. So check that out. So I want to know from you, Couchers, what do you think of Dismantle by SHUN? If you haven't never listened to this band, go listen to this record and then comment down below. Tell me what you thought about the band and what are your favorite tracks. And if you like the videos that I'm putting out, do not forget to give me a like and do not forget to subscribe. That helps me with the YouTube algorithm to get to more people like yourself. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.